gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans, and you haters of all ages, welcome to a new episode of Wrestling Reality Rundown. That's right, Wrestling Reality Rundown. It's not What the Hell today, and it's a special one, because look who I found. I dug him up from somewhere. It is
me!
Standard of All Reds, which I don't know if it's kind of awkward now, the Standard of All Reds, but he's my buddy. He's a former champion. He is the Red Standard.
Hello. It is great to be back again, Mr. Effect, talking some professional wrestling, especially the pay-per-view that's going on this Saturday.
That's correct. And of course, as I, the SKFeffect, I'm here still, but thankfully not alone this time. And he's a much better co-host than Satan, who, if you watch the race and What the Hells, I just have to force to get the man to talk. So, I dug the Red Standard up so we could talk Impact Wrestling Slammiversary, because this has been the most hyped Slammiversary event that they've had in a long while, and mostly the hype has not much to do with the actual card itself, but the mystery people that could be showing up.
Exactly. I think I'm looking, because I look at this card and I don't really feel excited about this card. I think I was a little bit more excited about the prior main event that they had, but then shenanigans happened and then everything got changed, which, probably the right thing to do in some instances, but it's at the end, it's the card doesn't really have the interest that especially with one match that I was a little disappointed in, but I will probably get to that later. But I do think it is, at least they have some hype around them regarding these, because, little confession, recently I haven't really been keeping up with much of wrestling, but it wasn't until this whole, when they had the first video that they announced, the first video, that's when I started to, get excited about Impact again, and that's when I actually made the effort to start watching Impact again. Because, I remember that first episode that I watched. It had been a while since I watched Impact. And it's just, knowing me, that's kind of a shock to believe. But I kind of feel like Impact's kind of gone down a bit in terms of, watchability. Because, they have, good matches every week. But it's just that there isn't anything that makes you want to tune in every week.
See, I'm kind of the exact opposite from you right now. I am more interested in the card because, honestly, for that main event match, the two people I didn't want to see win are the two that were removed. So I like the main event card now a little bit more, and I'm finding more and more watchability on those programs. Maybe it's favoritism. Maybe it's the fact that 75% of their shows tend to be knockouts nowadays. And
which is actually one of the best things about Impact. I think they've got
the knockouts.
I think Impact, I don't know if this might be a unpopular opinion, but I think Impact probably got the best women's division in all of wrestling right now. They've got a greater range of talent there.
There's not many people that argue. I've seen a lot of websites, a lot of groups that say the top women's divisions are Impact and NXT, and I'm not going to argue that. AEW still has a lot to work with their women's division, and WWE, Raw, and SmackDown, it just, they every now and then they kind of do a pickup on it, but then it just falls flat.
That's because there isn't enough karaoke.
Hey, be dance contest next week. Spoiler alert. So, let's get right to it. Who do you think is showing up?
I definitely think Eric Young could probably show up, especially since we saw the tease of Super Eric coming in, and that's one guy I would definitely love to see back. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Eric Young. I've always loved his work, so seeing him back on Impact, whether it be producer's role or on screen or both, I think he would be a great addition to kind of help Impact. I think that the Good Brothers are going to show up. A part of me, because I was thinking about this too, because we saw D'Lo wanted to call the band back together, wanted to bring Aces and Eights back. I think that would be a great way to introduce Gallows and Anderson as the Aces and Eights. And my wishful thinking, I really hope Bully Ray shows up and he can be the Conan that Conan was to LAX. Bully Ray could be to Gallows and Anderson, and they could be Aces and Eights. And I also think we probably, hopefully, I definitely want to see EC3 back as well.
See, I'm going to be kind of on par with you for the Bully Ray. I want to see Bully Ray back, but Gallus and Anderson don't need Bully Ray. They don't need aces and eights. They can be their own team. I want to see Bully Ray guide a group of just, say, 4 superstars, and him be that mentor of this group of young, hungry talent. Help them rise up the rankings and go for title shots and whatnot. So that I would love to see Bully Ray back. I want to see that. I'm especially because if she happened to see us, Amber will kill us. We want to see EC3 back. It's a given. I also wouldn't mind Mike and Maria showing up because, Lord, I think Mike needs and deserves a career revitalization, and I think Impact's going to be the place for that one. Plus, we got to have some type of returning knockout. You got to have some female return, too, if you're going to do all this hype.
Do you think Maria's going to show up in the Battle Royal?
No. I don't think she's going to get in the ring. I think she had her one knockouts title reign, and that's kind of just going to be her.
She already gave birth, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, now speculation aside, let's go on to the old school rules TNA World Heavyweight Championship match of Moose defending the championship against Tommy Dreamer.
This was the one where I was disappointed in because this was a given that Moose was going to face with the former TNA World Champion. And I would have loved it because they already teased it that it could have been EC3 when they played his music. But it was weird that they never went back to that. They never went back to that, and I just find that weird. And then all of a sudden, Tommy Dreamer is getting this match, which I love Tommy Dreamer, but I just don't think Tommy Dreamer in a pay-per-view match is really something that I care for, especially with all this hype about people coming back and, EC3. And it's like, I feel like this would have been I think this Moose TNA World Championship run has been the best thing on Impact Weekly, just seeing him become the delusional champion and having David Penzer do these Jeremy Borash introductions. I think that's been great. And I think the gimmick was great while Tessa was gone and there was no world champion. And this gimmick really seemed to want to end at Slammiversary where someone like EC3 comes in and beats him for the championship to end that TNA World Championship gimmick. But I still think there could be a chance where Moose attacks Dreamer after the match. I think Moose is going to win this match, of course. And then after the match, I do think EC3 will come out and save Dreamer and attack Moose, and they can set up whatever it was that they maybe wanted to start. I think the Tessa Blanchard situation may have changed that, but I don't know. We'll
If it stays Moose versus Tommy Dreamer, obviously Moose over Dreamer, there's still a chance before the match someone could take out Dreamer, or Dreamer could just willingly give up his spot if he feels there's someone more deserving. Dreamer could introduce the person. So there's still anything they could do with that. I would not mind if Moose does win. Whoever wins the main event match, Moose confronts them and goes, "Hey, congratulations, but I'm the real champion." And then you just have that as a story building off of who is the true champion. So that would be my thoughts story-wise for that match.
Interesting.
Let's see. Next up, speaking of former champions, we have the tag team title match of the North defending against the odd pairing of Ken Shamrock and Sammy Callahan. Which I'm
just surprised Ken Shamrock is still wrestling.
And he can still go.
He's still in great shape. He's in fantastic shape for a 50-something-year-old.
But I can't get over Ken Shamrock and Sammy Callahan teaming.
I feel like that's mostly to do with, they want to solidify Sammy as a babyface.
Which I don't want that. Sammy Callahan is not a babyface. Sammy Callahan is a ruthless heel. So, I'm curious where they're going with this one. It's bizarre. It's weird. I'm honestly hoping he kind of just turns and beats the crap out of Shamrock before the match ends, and that just costs the team. Because I don't like this WWE thought process of, just toss two people together and make a makeshift tag team. Especially to then have the makeshift tag team become the tag team champions.
But then again, there really isn't any tag teams in the division that the North have not beaten.
Yet.
Yes. Which is why I thought they could have done like them versus Gallows and Anderson, but they didn't decide to do that. I mean, there's always a chance they show up after the match and attack them, but
so far your thought process is the pay-per-view should have been all champions versus mystery opponents.
I mean, it's just that like that's really what they're building upon. It's like they have like all of these lists of people that they've already like teased coming in. Like they have all these people that they teased coming in, and some that have already like confirmed that they're coming back.
Or just done multiple teases themselves, like Mr. EC3 teasing NXT, AEW, ROH, and Impact. So, at the end of it, I gotta pull for the North to win, which honestly kind of hurts, but yeah, I gotta pull for the North.
I think they've been having a great reign as champions. I think they've definitely proven to be one of the best teams in wrestling.
All right. We have Gauntlet for the Gold match, featuring Alicia Edwards, Havoc, Kira Hogan, Kimber Lee, Kylie Ray, Nevaeh, Madison Rayne, Rosemary, Susie, Tasha Steelz, and Taya Valkyrie, and who knows if any other mystery person could show up in that match, because why not? But
she actually mentioned in an interview recently that she was originally supposed to come back, but I would definitely like to see Taylor Wilde come back in this one.
Oh, well, you want to talk about teasing? How about Taylor Wilde and Sarita teasing about the Impact Knockouts Tag Team titles returning, along with Gail Kim teasing it, along with every other knockout going, hey, we want those belts. Impact, pay attention. We want Knockouts Tag Team titles. Okay? Gotcha.
But for my prediction of this match, I think there's only one way to go, and I definitely think it needs to be Rosemary. She needs to win this one. I think lately, I mean, she hasn't really been in the spotlight much because she's pretty much been in the feud with Havoc and Su Yung for like well over a year.
Creating a buddy friendship with Taya and Johnny Bravo.
Which that I love. I love that connection there. I wish Taya never lost that championship to Jordan because I think Rosemary should have been the one since they had those teases of friendship. But I still hope for like Rosemary to win this one because I think
I also really enjoy them as tag team champions if we get those belts back.
That's if we get them back. Though.
But I'll agree. I would like to see, and I'm going to play favorites here. Havoc or Rosemary to get the win. I'd be okay with either one. I think either one could use the opportunity to shine, and it would create interesting stories. Havoc would have Nevaeh, and you'd have to wonder if Nevaeh would be one to turn on her, or then you have Rosemary and Taya. Would Taya cost Rosemary the title match, just out of spite and just... So it could create some interesting stories from there. So those would be the two that I would put the risk on for it. Then you have the oddballs in the match that have no partners, like Madison Rayne and Kimber Lee. I guess. So there's three oddballs that don't have a partner. But I'm still going to go Rosemary or Havoc for the match. So then we go to the X Division title match, which is champion Willie Mack defending against Chris Bay. Which he was supposed to have Johnny Swinger, then Johnny Swinger got banned from ringside. Then he went to the referee and said he was Chris Bay's emotional support buddy, and he had to legally be ringside, and he had papers from a lawyer that said so, and that's just kind of hysterical. And very interesting story for it. But then I guess he overheard Chris Bay talking some trash about him. Kind of hurt Johnny Swinger's feelings. So he said, you got to go by yourself. So in one-on-one match, who do you think, Willie Mack or Chris Bay?
I think it's going to be Willie Mack. I'm going to be honest. I don't really know much about what's going on here. I know the whole situation was like Johnny Swinger, but again, I feel like that's what most of this match has really been about, is like Chris Bay needing Johnny Swinger by ringside, to the point where Swinger had a match at Swinger side recently.
Swing aside.
I haven't really been impressed with what Willie Mack has been doing as X Division champion recently. I mean, I don't really know what's going on there, because there was like this weird stuff with him and the Deaners going on, and then with Bay, and it was all just like weird stuff that really hasn't been positioning him as a good champion. But
it's better to not know what's going on.
But I think Willie Mack's gonna win this one, and hopefully he'll have a great performance in the match like he usually does.
I feel like it's going to be Chris Bay. I feel like just because they've put so much emphasis on how he wanted to have Johnny ringside and Johnny felt he needed to be ringside, I feel like Chris Bay is going to get the big win. Or if he loses, it's going to be Johnny accidentally costing him the match, just as payback for what he might have said. But money, top right, I'd say Chris Bay is going to get the win. So now, one of the last two matches to talk about, it is the Knockout Championship match, which is Jordynne Grace defending against technical newcomer to the Knockouts division, Deonna. Which I have loved what they have done with Deonna so far, bringing her in, just having her go straight after the champion. The whole hype promo they did over a Zoom press conference interview on, Busted Open Radio. And then you just have her playing mind games up until this week with the whole face slam on the desk. I like Jordynne Grace. I like Deonna. I think this is going to be one hell of a match that it is really hard for me to personally make a choice. And I'm going to go against my normal judgment. And I want Deonna to get the win on this one.
When you say technically newcomers, she's not on the contract, right?
From what she has said, she is not under contract. Not currently. Who knows if that could change or if that's even the truth. It could just be story case.
That's the other weird thing about Impact that I haven't really enjoyed much of, because I feel like they bring in a lot of these people that they don't have under contract. They don't have a long-term investment with. And then they give them a spot, and then weeks later it's like they're just they say that they're a newcomer to the company, but then they're gone because
for whatever
reason.
Tenille, formerly Emma. That was her situation. They brought her in, put her in a title match and whatnot, but she was not under contract.
And she hasn't been seen in since the New York tapings, I think, or I remember they showed highlights of Taya beating her up, and then we haven't seen her since. And it's she we talked about this on the Bound for Glory prediction video, where here's someone new coming into the company, and immediately they're getting a title match. And I don't really like that, because it's I don't see Deonna winning this. I would like for her to win, but I don't see her winning it. And then if she loses, where exactly do you go with her from there? Because as you see with Tenille, she's really had nothing after Taya beat her at the pay-per-view.
See, and I feel like Tenille did not do much hype for Impact when she was there without being under contract. Deonna has been hyping, has been praising, has been grateful to be there for opportunities. So that's where I feel like the difference is, where she may actually be under contract, or the contract could be in negotiations. And if she was not to win, I see it being not a win by just the skin of the teeth. Very slight trickery, which puts her right back into chasing after Jordan. Oh, you barely got me. I don't care who the number one contender is. I'm going to be there for whoever wins type of scenario. And in that situation, you'd have someone like Taya if she doesn't win the Battle Royal, coming up to Deonna saying, hey, earn your spot, blah, 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 blah. But I got to pull for Deonna on this one. I'm happy to have her there. I've been a fan of hers for a few years now. I'm happy to see her gain into some spotlight. So I'm pulling for her to get the win. We go to the big one. The main event for the Impact World Championship, currently held by the greatest champion of all time, vacant. It is Ace Austin versus Trey versus Eddie Edwards versus Bacon. So, make it start. Who are you picking to walk out as the new Impact World Heavyweight Champion?
I mean, is there anybody else to pick? I mean, for the guy that's been there for the last 6 years, this guy's been through like 3 different managements. He's been through Dixie, he's been through Jarrett, he's been through Anthem, or technically Jarrett was that
Billy.
Demore and Callis. He's been through 3 different management. He's been through He's been through Spike, Destination America. Remember that one? Pop, Pursuit, whatever the hell that was, Twitch. He's been through all of these different eras. He's only had one reign as champion, and I think now it's time for him to have another chance at that championship. I mean, there's no one else that should win it than Eddie. I think he's the most deserving in the roster. I really wish that he had, because it's been 3-4 years since he's won the championship. And, like, even on that reign, it's like, yeah, he got some wins against Eli and EC3, but most of that feud was him against Bobby Lashley. It was like 5 matches.
Which,
and it's like,
let's take a quick flashback to the night he beat Bobby Lashley for the world title. Good times, good memories. That poor fangirl there at ringside for Bobby Lashley. Oh, she looks so pissed.
But then there was that fanboy as well. But so like I'll be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of Trey. I'm definitely not a big fan of Ace Austin, whatever that is. So that's why, to me, I felt like the match went down a bit after everything happened, after shenanigans happened. And I mean, for this one, I'm expecting either 3 choices, either Eric Young.
Well, there's 4 people. So when you're saying 3 choices of who's going to show up. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Eric Young, EC3, or one that, would be really cool to see, Chris Sabin, because I remember seeing Alex Shelley saying that, Chris Sabin's prepping for a Impact return, so maybe he could be in that match. I would love to see that too.
Chris Sabin returning into the world title picture would probably be the most underwhelming world champion return that they could do. Which, it being Impact, that's possible, but... And that's not saying anything against Sabin. Chris Sabin's a great athlete, awesome in the ring. But when you're hyping up the idea of James Storm being pictured, EC3, Eric Young, and then Chris Sabin's kind of the one that takes the place, that's where it would just be kind of off.
But, I mean, I really hope that Eddie does get the big win at the end. I think he's the most deserving.
Same. I'd be okay if Trey or Ace Austin got the win. I'm pulling for Eddie. You know my stand on a former WWE star coming in and just getting the big win, which I know any of these guys, it'd be a return home, but it would still just be kind of a slap to someone like Eddie, who's been there this whole time. Hey, welcome home. Here, have the title. So that's our predictions coming up to Slammiversary. All in all, I think it's going to be a fun show. I hope that is a lot of good surprises. I hope it's not going to be very underwhelming with the surprises that show up. I'm sure people will still bitch and complain no matter what. They could bring out greatness and someone will still find a reason to complain about so-and-so. But we should see some familiar faces. Hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun. Be sure to check.
Interesting that they're doing it on a Saturday. Usually they do it on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting that they're also doing it before Extreme Rules. I actually just found that out this week.
Literally, the day before Extreme Rules. Have Slammiversary too. Why not? Which, hey, if you want, check out my What the Hell About the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, where it was co-hosted by Satan, kind of, sort of, and we talked about what in the hell is going on at the horror show at Extreme Rules.
But someone's going to lose an eye.
Someone could lose an eye, and it could be some very interesting CGI graphics from what I've heard. So, with that said, be sure to check out Slammiversary either on pay-per-view, Fight TV, or whatever means you may need to use to watch it. For that, I am the SKFeffect. He is the Red Standard. Be sure to like... Wait, hold on. Why am I closing it? You, close us down.
Make sure that you like this video and also leave a comment on your predictions of Slammiversary. And after you do all of that, you're going to want to subscribe to the channel for more updates, more what the hell. I know we're coming back to the 2K20 universe as well. We're also going to want to check those out as well. So subscribe and turn on them notifications to be sure you check out all of those videos. He is the SKFeffect at SKFeffect on Twitter and the Red Standard at the Red Standard on Twitter. Steven, say goodbye to the people.
Later days, everybody. We'll see you next time.